Hi guys, my name is Alex, I'm a sex coach, and I just got back from a 1,000 person orgy where I was the only guy there. And having that experience made me really think about my past and the journey, how far I've come in my sexual enlightenment, and how far I've come in my improvement in how I have sex and what I've learned. And it made me think about what I would tell my younger self about sex right now. What lessons, what wisdom would I impart on my younger self? And so today, in this video, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to pretend that you guys are my younger self, and I'm going to basically pass on some wisdom from a sex coach and self-proclaimed sex god. The first thing I would tell my younger self is to be present and stop stressing so much about performing. And if you're going to have your orgasm too soon, just get out of your head and be present in the experience. There's nothing worse than a sexual experience. Trust me, I know because I've done many of them. There's nothing worse than a sexual experience where you're totally in your head, you're extremely anxious about everything you're doing, hoping that you perform in the most perfect way ever, and that your partner has the most amazing orgasms, and that you are perceived well by your partner, and that that person is going to go tell their friends about how great of a sexual partner you are, because that matters, right? The number one most important thing in determining sexual quality, determining whether a sexual experience is good or bad, is how present you and your partner are in that experience. If you guys are thinking about other things, or you're bored, or you're distracted, whatever is happening downstairs or upstairs, whatever is happening is not going to be as pleasurable as it could be if you guys were totally immersed, present in that experience, and just enjoying yourselves. And it's not a big deal anyway. Stuff happens, mistakes are made. Sometimes you won't perform as well as you wanted to. Sometimes you'll perform better than you wanted to. But there's no point in stressing about it and getting all anxious about it, because all that's doing is pulling you out of the experience and making you perform worse anyway. And it's making you not enjoy the sexual experience. I remember just being anxious about, am I going to perform well? Am I going to stay hard during the entire experience? Is my penis big enough? All of this stuff that's just clouding my mind, and it really made it so I couldn't enjoy the sexual experiences I was having, because all I cared about was my performance. So the first thing I would tell myself is definitely to just stay present, be mindful, get immersed in that experience, and you'll enjoy it much more. The second thing I would tell my younger self about sex is to have sex with people you actually connect with. Don't do the random hookup culture thing that society's trying to push on everyone. Don't be pressured into sleeping with people if you don't really want to, or you think that just sleeping with them is going to make you cooler or more popular or get some kind of social credit, whatever you're looking for. Only have sex with people that you actually connect with. And that's going to help the previous point that I made of staying present. If you actually trust this person that you're having sex with, you're more able to be vulnerable in that experience. You'll be less stressed about performing well, and you both will be more present in the experience. It's also been shown in studies that the hookup culture can actually rewire your brain in a very negative way and make it actually harder to find a stable partner, a stable sexual partner in the future. So just don't mess with that stuff. And have sex with people you actually care about, people you actually connect with on an emotional level. It's going to make everything better. It's going to make the experience more fun, more enjoyable. You'll be able to be more present in the experience. And if there's that level of trust, you won't be stressed, you won't be anxious, and you won't have all of that stuff clouding your mind, taking you out of the experience and making it much worse. The third thing I would tell myself is to never watch porn. Never ever watch porn. Unfortunately, I think in today's day and age, it's kind of a rite of passage that every guy is going to stumble upon the internet when they're a young teenager. I was 14 when I was first introduced to porn, and I think it's almost inevitable that young men these days are going to have to get addicted to porn and then have to quit, because it's just too tempting when you're that age. and you don't realize that it's going to have such a negative impact on your life, so you're just doing it because it's awesome, because it actually is. That's why it's so addicting. But the amount of issues and problems that porn addiction has caused me in my past, and what I've seen on the internet, so many other men, it's just not worth it. Don't do it. Try not to. As much as you possibly can, fight the urge to watch porn. I've dealt with porn-induced social anxiety, porn-induced performance anxiety, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, so many negative things. It made me depressed, even suicidal. And what benefits did it give me? It felt good in the moment, and then it made me feel terrible at every other part of my day. So it's really not worth it. It's such a detriment to your life. Don't do it. If you're a woman out there, it has the same effects too, so my advice would be to stay away from it as best as you possibly can. Fourth thing I would tell my younger self is to not get value, social value, from body count, from sleeping with a particular person. This kind of goes along with my second point, in that you should sleep with people that you actually connect with on an emotional level, and don't try to get value in yourself based on who you're sleeping with. And who cares what other people think about who you're sleeping with? I remember when I was younger, I only wanted to be with the hottest women that I could possibly get, because I cared so much about what other people thought. I thought if they saw that I was dating, or they knew I had sex with some woman that was super hot, then that would make me like super cool, or get some kind of recognition, I don't even know, some kind of status elevation by doing that, and it doesn't do anything. If you're not sleeping with someone you actually connect with on an emotional level, the sex sucks, and actually no one cares who you're sleeping with, really. And you shouldn't care if other people care who you're sleeping with. Sex is such a personal experience, it's so unique and individual to yourself, so don't let other people guide who you're sleeping with, or how you're having sex, or any of that stuff. Have sex for yourself, be present in that experience, and do it with people you actually connect with. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but these are important things that I wish I knew when I was younger. The fifth and final thing I would tell my younger self is to have fun with sex. Don't make sex a chore. I went from age about 17 to 24 or so without having sex. I went that whole span without any sex at all, any sexual contact, no girlfriend, nothing. And that's because of porn. Porn totally sapped my motivation, made me depressed, made me socially anxious. So I just didn't even want to go out and meet people. But then when I started to have sex around 24 or so, I was so concerned with the time that I lost from 17 to 24. I was so concerned that I was going to be so terrible at sex that I filled my brain with all these sexual techniques. It's actually why I'm a sex coach now, because of all this research I did. But in those sexual experiences, I remember my first ones, I was so in my head, and all I was thinking about was, I gotta do this, and then I have to do this, and it was this step-by-step formula. It was all these different angles and physical techniques I had to do, and it didn't really lead to very good experiences, for me at least. It helped because I noticed what worked and didn't work on people, and it kind of refined my knowledge base to what it is now. So I don't regret doing that, because I wouldn't know this lesson to stay present if I didn't do that. But I just wasted so much time with just trying to be perfect and trying to be the best sexual partner ever. I still want to be the best sexual partner ever, but I don't want to sacrifice that for my own enjoyment. And I know that if I'm enjoying it, if I'm present in the experience, it's going to encourage my partner to enjoy it and be present in the experience as well. If they see me just totally losing myself, it gives them permission to also lose themselves, to just go wild, go crazy, and be immersed in that sexual experience. I remember the first time I wanted to do dirty talk, and all I wanted to say was like something super simple like, "You like that, don't you?" And the amount of anxiety and fear I had to just say those words was just unbelievable. I was like almost shaking. I was like, "Say it. No, don't say it. It's not the right time. No, say it." And my brain was just going wild. And I look back on that and it's just so silly. Like, why couldn't I just say that? Eventually I did, but it was probably 5 minutes of extreme anxiety, and which didn't need to be there at all. And I really, in my past relationship, I really didn't enjoy sex for a lot of it because I felt like I was just trying to perform well for them at the cost of my own pleasure, my own enjoyment. And that's not what it's all about. Sex is about connecting with people and enjoying yourself in this experience where you're just two people totally connected. There's nothing like it in the world. And so don't sacrifice that incredible bonding experience because you're trying to be the most amazing sex god in the world. I know that might sound weird coming from me as a sex coach, but I try not to give you guys any advice that's like, finger the person this way or do this crazy technique. I try to give you guys advice that's more like, be present, stay in the moment, and how to communicate and stuff like that. It's not going to cloud your head and not allow you to be present in that experience. So hopefully I'm successful in that. It's inevitable that your first sexual experiences, you're going to be anxious, and especially if you're trying to get better, those first experiences, you're going to be thinking way too much about what you have to do and what you should do. That'll go away, but you should, in the back of your mind, always be considering, am I having fun, or is sex just a chore for me, a job that I'm doing for this other person? Because sex should be fun for you too. So that'll do it for me in this video. That is the wisdom I am imparting on you and my younger self. I wish I could impart, especially the porn thing, on my younger self. I lost so many years to porn addiction, but I guess I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for going through those experiences, and I wouldn't be able to impart my sexual wisdom onto you guys without experiencing those things. So I hope you learned something. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, come back, subscribe to this channel, watch some other of my videos. I give out the best sex advice on the internet, I think. But anyway, that'll do it for me in this video. Get out there and have amazing sex. Bye, guys.